bro. That's the stuff. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory!
And today, we will be talking about the lore of Azure from the Roblox game Desolation. Desolation is a multiplayer survival game, and it's a smorgasbord of who's who in Roblox history. On the killer side, you have both real Roblox hackers like Cool Kid, and rumored hackers like John Doe, and 1x1x1x1. And on the survivors team, you've got guys like Builderman, who is actually David Baszucki, the creator of Roblox. You have Shedletsky, a well-known Roblox admin, and Elliot, who is the mascot for a Roblox game, Work at the Pizza Place, one of the first and most popular Roblox games. The survivor's goal is to run around the map, avoiding the killer until time runs out, and the killer's goal, well, you can probably figure out what their goal is. As a survivor, you can take time off the clock by playing little mini-games that at first look like simple mobile games, but believe me, when you're under the pressure of trying to finish it before a killer comes and gets you, it's a whole other kettle of fish. But with all of that said, I'm sure many of you are seeing this and waiting for me to dig deep into Azure's lore, so let's get into it, shall we? If you open up the Desolation wiki, right-click and select page source, you'll be shown a bunch of code. If you scroll down, you'll find a poem-like paragraph of text hidden. After looking at it for a while, it is clear that it could be decoded by a Caesar cipher. You just have to paste it in and select decode before shifting until it decodes itself. Aha! It looks like a riddle of some sort. It reads, "Lo, where men gather for the hunt begins, there I linger. Yet seek me not amidst the clamor of the hall, for beyond the cabins old, past Crystal Lake's dark mirror, through the whispering wood where a lone ladder doth rise, my hidden words await thy hand. Find thou my journal, and the truth shall be unveiled." This sounds similar to how Shakespeare wrote his plays. I'm sure most of us understand what is being said, but for those who don't, here's a translated version. At the place where everyone gathers before the hunt starts, that's where I am. But don't look for me in the noisy main hall. Go past the old cabins, beyond Crystal Lake, and into the forest where there's a lone ladder. That's where my journal is hidden. Find it, and the truth will be revealed. That confirms there's a journal hidden somewhere in the Desolation lobby. We should head in-game and start searching for it. When you first join the game and make your way through Camp Crystal Lake, something strange can be found hidden off the main path. Near a tree beside an old ladder rests a journal impaled by a blade. But here's where things start getting interesting. This isn't just some random weapon model reused for decoration. The blade stabbed through the journal is the exact same blade Two-Time uses in-game to stab killers. When clicking the question mark, it prompts you dialogue. You notice a journal of some sort. "Hey Azure, I'm sorry. I have no idea if you are even alive anymore. I feel like you are, and if so, could you forgive me? I regret sacrificing you in that field of nightshades." There's redaction after this line, but it's pretty simple to figure out what is being said. It says, "It wasn't supposed to happen. Why did you leave me alone? I never meant to hurt you. Everything went wrong after that night. The paper is stained beyond recognition. Some words are scratched out violently. You said we'd stay together, so why did you disappear?" The writing suddenly changes. The ink looks smeared, almost clawed into the page. "I can still hear you. You keep following me. Make it stop. Please, I'm sorry." This next line seems to also be encoded with something. It's pretty obvious that it could be decoded with the Caesar cipher again. If you decode it using the Caesar cipher, you'll get this. "Pathetic, he didst cast me unto ruin, and deemed I would suffer it in silence. His pleas for mercy are but hollow falsehoods, woven from the tongue of a coward. Unto the cursed grounds, where Yorick doth wander, there shall he too be laid to rest." Everything else becomes unreadable, and, I apologize for laughing like that. Anyways, let's break this down. On the first line, it says, "Hey Azure, I'm sorry." Right away, we're not dealing with a normal journal. This is a direct address to Azure, establishing them as the central emotional anchor of this entire event. But here's the first red flag. Two-Time is apologizing without context. That means we're entering a story after the incident has already happened. Next line. I have no idea if you are even alive anymore. Could you forgive me? Now, this is important. He doesn't say, I think you're dead. He says he doesn't know. That implies Azure's state is uncertain, missing, dead, or something even worse, something that exists outside normal confirmation. And then he asks for forgiveness, which tells us one thing very clearly. Whatever happened to Azure, Two-Time believes it was his fault. Then we get the big reveal. I regret sacrificing you in that field of nightshades. Boom. There it is. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a disappearance. This was a sacrifice. And not just any sacrifice. A ritualized location is specified. The field of nightshades. Which means this is likely intentional, structured, and possibly tied to some larger system or entity in the lore. But here's where things take a turn. After digging deeper into the lore surrounding Desolation, we start to uncover something that completely reframes everything we just read. Because Two-Time isn't just some isolated, guilt-ridden character, he was connected to a cult known as the Spawn. Now, in Desolation lore, the Spawn isn't just a faction. It's described as a corrupted belief system built around sacrifice and creation through loss. Two-Time must have been told to sacrifice Azure in order to show that he was loyal to the Spawn, and so that he could finally get his second life that he had dreamed about for so long. Next line says, "It wasn't supposed to happen. Why did you leave me alone? I never meant to hurt you." Now, this is where things get psychologically interesting, because Two-Time immediately contradicts himself. He admits to sacrificing Azure, but then claims he didn't mean to hurt them. So we have two possibilities. Either he was forced into the sacrifice, or he is mentally fracturing and rewriting responsibility. But there's more. He says, "Why did you leave me alone?" That flips Azure from victim to someone who abandoned him, which suggests guilt is being redirected. Next line. Everything went wrong after that night. This is our anchor event. That single night equals the sacrifice. And everything afterward are the consequences. So we now know this is a post-incident collapse timeline. Now things escalate. The paper is stained beyond recognition. Some words are scratched out violently. This is key, because now the journal is no longer just Two-Time's voice. Something else has interacted with it, and the scratching is described as violent. That suggests rejection, anger, resistance, and potentially Azure responding to what's being written. Azure might have even modified what Two-Time had said, so if anyone were to find the journal, they wouldn't know the truth. Then we get this shift. The writing suddenly changes. The ink looks smeared, almost clawed into the page. This is where theory gets serious. We are no longer in normal handwriting territory. And then, no attribution, no context, just laughter, which is one of the clearest signs in horror storytelling of either possession or total psychological break. Then, I can still hear you. Now Azure is no longer just remembered, they are present. Auditory hallucination, or something actively communicating. You keep following me. Now the dynamic flips completely. Azure is no longer the victim in memory. They are now the pursuer. Make it stop. Loss of control. And finally, please, I'm sorry. Regression. We've gone full circle, from structured apology to confession to fear to collapse. Something fishy is going on. Now, when we decoded using the Caesar cipher, we had this particular line, "Unto the cursed grounds, where Yorick doth wander, there shall he too be laid to rest." In Desolation, there is a map called Yorick's Resting Place, which has a graveyard. This could hint that there may be something waiting for us there, so we may as well go and check it out. When we head to the graveyard, there's extremely small text that says, "Here lies Two-Time, the one who will never taste Ardected's pizza again." Now, who's this person whose name is redacted? Well, there is one particular character in Desolation that makes pizzas, and that person is Elliot. This means that we may find another clue at the place where Elliot works. Work at the pizza place. So we are going to check over there now. Now, if you explore around, you'll find several bits of text that you'll have to piece together. It is strange that the text are outside the map, but there isn't any logical explanation. Now, if you piece them together, you'll get this giant block of text, and after trying to use the Vigenère cipher with the code Two-Time, it failed, but it worked with Azure. The text says, "Mine thanks unto thee, Eliot, yet onward must I wander now. I recall not where his journal was. Abandoned it must rest within the halls of Redacted's dwelling. There did I surely leave it behind, and I cannot suffer him to place his hands upon it. Too perilous it is, too dreadful in the truths it doth contain. Would that he understood the torment unto which I was condemned. For had he known, perchance he would see why I was forced to offer him unto the spawn, though against mine own heart it was." Now, this shows that Two Time has Azure's journal that may have something powerful in it. Therefore, he is trying to keep it away from him for some reason that isn't clear. This also points for us to search someone who starts with a B, which I figured was Brandon6875935, which correlates to the map Brandon Works. After hours of searching, I couldn't find anything more, so that's where the story ends now. Now we just have to wait for another update that continues Azure's lore, but in the meantime...
Remember, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.